Happy Saturday, everybody. This is Jeff with Deadly Horizons, here with my lovely host. Introduce yourself, please.
Oh, I'm Sharon, and it's Sunday morning here.
It's Sunday morning there. We have a special guest. I've been stalking your page for years. We have Stoner Van Alton. Stoner, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. Thank you so much, man. This is great to be on here, man. This is awesome.
It's like I said, I've been stalking for a long time. You have your own YouTube channel, right? What is it? You have the Spahn Ranch channel since 2011.
Spahn Ranch channel. Yeah, since 20. Well, that's not actually my first channel. I've had 5 channels here. See, the thing about me being on YouTube, I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I'm just a guy on YouTube. That's the difference here. I don't make any money. I just do this because I have plenty of free time and it's just fun and I like doing it. So I make no money off this whatsoever. So I, at times, don't follow the YouTube rules. So, yes, I've been on for 15 years, but this is my 5th channel. So it's like, but my first channel, yes, I had over 10,000 subscribers and 500 videos, and then you have to start over. I don't know what that must be like, because I'm sure a lot of you have never been through that, and I hope none of you ever have to go through that. But when you have to start over, whole new channel, start uploading videos, doing the whole thing, building it up, and I've done it 5 times, and I'll keep doing it as long as
dedication. I mean, for one thing, people make money doing this. I didn't know about that.
Apparently, some do.
Yeah.
Money, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. I've heard some people.
I make money. So how do you get yourself, did you get kicked off for just material they didn't appreciate?
No. It's just playing copyrighted music, and that's all it is, man. And me just, my show, okay, look, I am not here. My channel is not here to solve the case. That's the whole thing about this thing. Right. I'm more like the MC of a community, which I've actually has spawned from my channel, pun intended, from my channel. I've had people who've been a part of my show, and I've encouraged them to start shows, and they have started shows, and they're doing great on their own, and they're the ones who are trying to solve the case. I am just the one trying to lead the next generation here to show you different information than what we grew up with. See, the thing is I'm not trying to convince people I'm 56 years old. I'm not trying to convince people 56 or older about the case. That's not it. I'm trying to convince the next generation from 19 to 25. That's the generation right there. And we've gotten through to some, because I don't want them just to come. I don't want the next generation to come up and just start believing, the same bulliosi stuff. There is plenty of evidence out there that proves. And the one word that I hate, I'm sorry, but I hate this word, conspiracy. I don't like it. Conspiracy theory, conspiracy this. Look, when you have facts and there's really stuff out there, it's not a conspiracy. It's fact. Look.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just think a lot of people, and I understand this, there are more people that are on Bugliosi's side than on, the side of trying to look at the case of why these people were killed. That's the whole thing. There was 8 people, a baby killed. Why were they killed? Well, if you want to believe what Bugliosi said, that's what a lot of people believe. But a lot of people, even the people that were there back then, they don't believe that. So if that didn't happen, then what really happened? Now, in my community, there's a lot of people out there who have got some great information. The problem, I think, in my community is that no one's willing to work together because everybody thinks what they have is, the holy grail of the case. And it's like, okay, look, no. I think you've got some good stuff. You've got some good stuff. You've got some good stuff. If we work together here, I think we can figure out what really happened. And it really wasn't what we've been told the last 57 years or so now. If you don't believe Bugliosi, what are we believing then? Tell me right now, are we believing George Stimson's Goodbye Helter Skelter? Are we believing Nicholas Schreck, Myth and Reality of an Outlaw Shaman, the Manson file? Are we believing Tom O'Neill's Chaos? What are we talking about here? But if these 3 people were to come together and literally work on it together,
it'd be great.
It would be great if they could, if like your show, any show, if you could have a sit down with these 3 authors of these books and really, and no one's trying to say they're better than anybody. That's not the point. The point is, why were these people murdered? And if you don't believe Bugliosi, then what are you believing? You tell me.
Community, we all need to come together. Myself, I'll give you a small background on my interest in Manson. So my grandparents and father, they lived down Death Valley at the same time. Do you know Wild Rose Station, that area?
No, out there. No.
It's a little bit above Ballarat. And there's a campground there, but there used to be, it was like a restaurant, gas station. They had cabins out there in the late 60s. And they were there at the time of when Manson was out there. Now, my grandparents tell a different story to me growing up than what my dad says is true. My grandparents were saying that they helped turn in the Manson family when they set fire to that road construction. Like they turned it into because they're friends with the park rangers. My dad goes, no, they didn't. No. The most that is true is that after they were busted, probably the second time, my dad and grandpa went out there and I got some slides. They took pictures of the scene.
Was he saying that they didn't burn that down? Was he saying they didn't burn that down at all?
No, he's not saying that. My grandparents are saying, they told me as a kid that the Manson family, like the ones that are left over, are trying to find our family and kill them because they turned in the Manson family at Barker Ranch.
Okay. Yeah.
And my dad says, no, that's not true. And they said they would come to our restaurant, they'd breastfeed there, and they were trying to steal our gas. And he goes, there were hippies that came there, but I don't know if it was from the Manson girls,
Right.
So I grew up just steeped in this, they had the Life magazine. We'd always look at that. We'd read the books, watch the documentaries. So it's been like a lifelong obsession of mine. So watching your channel, I love the insight because I like how open you are. Like you said, you're stating the facts as you know it. You're not saying my opinion is the only sole opinion, and you work with Michael Channels, and I respect him a lot too.
He's great, dude. Michael Channels was the very first person to ever put anything Manson on the air. He went to Charles Manson and told him, hey, there's this thing coming out called the internet. I'd like to put your information on there. And Manson was like, what does that mean? What is the internet? I don't know what that is. And he's like, it's a way of sharing information, and we can get your story out there. And he's like, really? I mean, he basically explained the internet to Manson and was the very first person to ever put anything, I'm not kidding, about Charles Manson on the internet. Back when we had Windows 95 and all that kind of, if you guys remember, I don't know how old you are.
Yeah.
But you guys remember. So, but yes, after that, Michael Channels, man, he's extremely smart.
He's very kind. You buy something from once and you'll get a Christmas card every year from him. I love it.
Yes, you will, dude. He's really good with that, with the Christmas. He's one of those guys who always send the Christmas card. I'm like, wow, man.
Because he's a pen pal like myself. Sharon and I, we write to infamous people. I've written to Tex Watson a couple times. I propose like to be called Tex.
Right. I've written to him a few times. I've written to Bruce. Right, exactly.
Talk on the app, and they know. I mean, I don't sell their stuff. I do sell other stuff, but it's usually because I'm helping other people get commissary. But Michael Channels is continuing that pen pal. I even got like a little kit from him, like a little beginner kit, pen pal kit, little notebook that he has.
That's cute.
Yeah, I dig it. I like it. And I mean, and also because of your last interview, I talk with Thunder quite a bit. Kenneth Nallon.
Okay, I've talked to Thunder. Yeah,
that's cool. He calls up and he wanted me to. I don't know if he told his story. Like he said that when he was at San Quentin, he was working with the FBI.
I didn't hear that. No.
He was an undercover agent with the FBI, and I don't laugh because I believe a lot of what Thunder tells me. He might have been under the influence, but his story is, and I think we have an episode somewhere he talks about it, that there's a weird upper level in San Quentin where they have people there that are dressed like they're foreigners and they don't belong there, and they're like in a room that is nothing but silver walls, and they're being held hostage there by San Quentin prison, and the FBI are trying to infiltrate that and find out. And said they're hiding the drugs and the peanut butter. So they told Thunder, don't eat the peanut butter. They're putting the drugs in that. And he gave me a phone number to some woman. He goes, call her. She's with the FBI, and I want her, tell her this is code name such and such, and that I'm ready to rat on him. And the phone number, I was like, called. I was like, fuck, who's going to answer this, man? I don't know. It's not an operable number anymore, but he goes, dude, I'm telling you the truth. I'm giving this to you because I trust you. I'm like, dude, this is fucking crazy, but okay.
Insane. No, when we would talk on the phone, it was mainly just because I've been to prison myself. So me and him, when we talk, it's kind of more like convict to convict kind of talk, like prison stuff and this and that. And, it was kind of cool. I mean, and I like talking to him. I don't mind talking to him, man. I think it's all right. It's all good, man.
No, he's cool. He's fun.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he'll have me reach out to so and so and tell that. I think he even gave me a number of our recent documentary person who just came out, Sophia.
About Sophia?
Yeah.
Wait, he sent you something about her?
He gave me her phone number. Because I guess she had some paperwork of his.
I got her phone number on my phone. Too.
There you go.
We can compare numbers.
We can compare numbers.
They're both the same.
I'm not kidding. I'll tell you right now. You tell me what the number is. I'll look at my phone and just tell you if it matches. Okay? I can text her right now, so I know my number's real. So
yeah, I know she responded. Well, whoever was at that number responded to me once a while ago, and then recently I reached out, say, hey, congratulations on the documentary. I can't wait to watch it. And nothing. I'm like, yeah, I figured I wouldn't hear anything.
No, as soon as I saw it, I texted her and I said, hey man, that was great. That was really good. I like the documentary. She was like, thank you, Stoner. I appreciate that, especially coming from you. No, I thought it was good. I was actually, at the time when I first saw the trailer, I was thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a joke. This is going to be bad. This is not going to be good. And then there was an article that came out from like San Francisco. Some guy came out with the very first review before it even aired. How he even saw it, I don't know. But it was the very first review where he calls it a joke. He says it's ridiculous. This is terrible, terrible, terrible. You're probably friends with Deborah Tate. I don't know. But I'm just saying.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that, was to be like that. Now, because after it came out, if you remember, Anthony DeMaria writes an article about the documentary, and he says in his article, he says, a friend of mine sent me a clip of a Manson podcaster who was calling out Sophia Maddox because she was at this event called Family Jams Day, which is my event. So he wasn't using my name, but the thing is that the people that I'm thinking of who are giving him this information are people that used to be a part of my show, meaning the audience, and they spawn their own shows, because how else would they know this information? Because I doubt Anthony DeMaria is watching my show at all. Believe me, he wouldn't waste his time at all. So once someone showed him that information about it, then all of a sudden he writes an article about it. Yeah. And he starts calling out Sophia. So I've seen a lot of negative stuff about Sophia, but I've also seen a lot of good comments about Sophia and about her documentary. I think it's very good. I think the problem that people have with it is that it has nothing to do with the case. It has nothing to do with Manson. It's about her dealing with it and her relationship with her dad and how he's dealing with it. And that's the whole thing. So it has, because some people are like, well, you're not going to learn anything new about Manson. You're not supposed to. You're not learning. The only thing that you're learning new about Manson is that she's in his life. That's it. That's the only thing you're learning new about Manson. Now there's Sophia Maddox now to the family tree.
That's her story.
The rest of this documentary is just her dealing with it. It's just her dealing with this. Obviously, she had a bad relationship with her father. I don't know if you guys have seen the documentary, but she had a bad relationship.
Yeah.
Right. She has a bad relationship with her father. Now, look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think she does kind of throw her dad under the bus. Yep. A bit.
I agree.
And she does. I think before the production started, everybody thought that it was going to be about her dealing with the realization of her dealing with the fact that her grandpa's, Manson. And it turns into Daniel Arguelles her dad being compared to Manson. And this is what it was like. And this is what it's like. And I don't think Daniel knew that. I think that's why in the very beginning, we noticed that Daniel's being very cool. He's being, hey man, everything's fine and it's great and everything's great. As soon as that, not even halfway through it, about a quarter way through it, all of a sudden his mind changes completely. He is being like, he's not answering phone calls. He doesn't want to be on set. He doesn't want to do this because I think he was lied to about how this project was going. And he thought it wasn't going to be so much on him. And then he realizes it's focused very much on him. Mm-hmm. And it makes him look like a deadbeat dad, a bad dad. And I've met him. I've met him one time. He came to my event. All of them came to my event. Right. They were all there at my event. And, look, everything seems fine to me, man, but I feel bad for him. And the people I've talked to do feel bad for him because they kind of feel like he was thrown under the bus a little bit, But overall, I think it was a good documentary. Sophia did a great job. I had no problems with it, really, overall.
No, I didn't either.
Besides Daniel being thrown under the bus.
Yeah, and I loved when her dad met up with Shrek, because if you've never seen Shrek before, and you see him, and you hear him talk,
it's more like a very tall Dr. Evil.
Yes. Yeah, I've met Shrek before, and he's tall. I'm 5'7". He's like 6'7". Yeah, he's tall.
And the ear is off-putting for some folks, which is just his anniversary recently of that coming off.
I thought that part of this whole documentary was actually kind of comical because from the start he didn't want to hear it. You can already tell here's the thing. By that time of the documentary, it seems like Daniel already had enough and already knew what this documentary was really about. Now she's trying to get her friends to change his mind about his dad, and he already feels a certain way about his dad, and now she's bringing on Shrek to say all these things about him and all these other people, whether it's Derek Hayes, and that's who that was, by the way, with the hoodie over his head. His name is Derek Hayes. It goes by Black Wolf. I was supposed to go walk with him at Spahn Ranch one day, but I couldn't meet him. The one time I could have met him, he wanted to meet me at Spahn Ranch, and I just couldn't meet him that day. I was busy. So,
Secret's out.
He knows who I am. I know who he is, and we know who he is. But so that part's funny. But I liked it though because he gives her all the phone numbers, all the conversations. I like that, so she can really listen to him. Right, she can really hear his voice. And I like the fact that she picked out, most people when they hear his voice, they only pick out the real creepy shit that he says. Mm-hmm. And they put that in the documentary. And there's a new documentary, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but on Netflix, there's another one coming out called Charles Manson, The Conversation. Oh God, I've already seen the trailer. It looks terrible. And all they do is take clips of everything that he said was evil, and it makes it just sound like he was even more evil. Whereas the exact opposite was done with Sophia's. She took parts of it. Well, I thought it made him sound like a regular guy. Look, I've heard plenty of conversations with Manson from Michael channels that nobody will hear, and Manson sounds like a regular fucking guy on the phone because nobody's being recorded. Everything's fine, and trust me, everything's totally cool. But when it comes to putting on a show, or when you're talking to Geraldo Rivera, when Manson's talking to this person.
Yep, I was going to say Geraldo.
If you want a show, I'll give you the show. If you want me to dance, I'll dance. Is this what you want? Manson gave you, look, because those interviews, first of all, they weren't taken seriously. And Manson actually would take it seriously if you asked him a serious question. But in most of those interviews, man, I'm not saying every one of them, but a lot of them, they're asking him garbage questions. There are some very good interviews out there with Manson. There really are. There really, really are.
There's some I can't remember, but not recently. And I was rewatching because some of your episodes prior to that, you're talking about the Manson movies, some of the best. One I like the one from '73 it was really good with the footage with the Leftover family. I like that one quite a bit.
That one's the best because it's really the Manson family. It's really there's no actors, there's no nothing. They're really using the set, but the narration. Here's what I tell people: if you're going to watch Manson 1973, put it on, turn off the volume, put on your favorite rock album, and just link it. It doesn't matter, and just watch it that way. Trust me, you don't need to hear what they're saying because they're saying the same old helter-skelter. So don't worry about it. But everybody you see in there really is the Manson family. That really is Spahn Ranch. It's not a set. Everything is. That's what I like about Manson and inside the Manson gang. The Leftover film from the Hendrickson movie. That's what I like about it is that everything in there is real. That's not actors. There's no nothing. But also, let me just say this real quick. The best comical movie about Manson was
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No. No.
You don't still love that movie, man.
Okay, not that one. No. God,
I just love the dog.
Hold on a second here. I can't think of the. Oh God, no. There is a movie where
and I just saw it on your channel. I forget. It was like the Manson family something.
Right. It's actually a comedy.
Yeah.
It
used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there anymore.
I don't think it's on there. Manson Family Vacation or Manson Family.
With Clark Griswold is hosting it, and no.
No, but there was okay, yeah. Oh no. I'm saying okay. It was called Manson. Okay, there's a movie called Manson Family Vacation. Okay, it's called Manson Family Vacation. It came out in 2015. This movie, when I first saw it, I actually thought like they followed me around, and I'm like, this is my life. This movie is my life. How did they get my life on this? I'm not kidding. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It really is called. I have it right here. Really is called.
I have what I know the name. I have watched it, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
it's called Manson Family Vacation. Everything in that movie I did. I was camping in my friend's backyard. I read my friend's kids Helter Skelter. I went to all the sites. I was trying to convince my friend to go to all the sites. Everybody thought I was nuts. And this dude, I'm not kidding. And this was, when I did it, it was in 2011. And the next thing you know, in 2015, the movie comes out. So I'm like, I don't know. I was doing it in 2011.
Well, maybe it's the CIA.
2015.
A neighbor was stalking you.
And also, the guy in the movie, he was fat like me, and he had a beard like me, and he would smoke pot like me. Everything was like me. I'm like, wait a minute. Everything is so like me. This is weird. And I actually I'm not kidding, I contacted the actor that played my part in it, and I was talking to him. I said, did you guys do any research really? Did you ever even go to Spahn Ranch before you even made it? They said, no, we never even went to Spahn Ranch. We never did anything like that. I said, if you want to tour Spahn Ranch, I will give it to you personally. At the time, he's like, I'm getting ready now to move to New York City, and I won't be in California, so I won't need the anymore. And that was the last time I talked.
That's
I'm not
hilarious.
kidding. I really act like I don't. And that was in 2000. It came out in 2015. I saw it in 2000, like 16, 17, and I got a hold of it. I couldn't believe it. I'm honestly.
What's the coincidence of that, though? I mean, it's like to the T.
It is a good. If you got nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon, watch it. It is good.
Man,
it is.
I watch
good.
everything Manson.
Look, it's good, man.
I know it's good. I say if it sucks, I'll watch it because it's
funny, man. No, I love it.
But so back to the documentary. So I don't know if Michael Channel's the only person to do this, but he dropped a pretty big bomb on. It should give you that. It should have a question mark. You know, Manson, my grandfather, question mark.
It can blow up everything. Right now, it can blow up everything. And he's right. Yeah. What he says is Sophia may have jumped the gun before she made the video. You know, just because you link up to Michael Bruner through Ancestry doesn't mean that gives you the link to Manson.
Yeah.
Now, but here's the thing, though. If and when Daniel Arguelles takes a test against Manson's DNA, not Bruner, but Manson's, if that matches, that's actually not good for Jason Freeman. And that's something that possibly could happen. And we'll see what happens on September 1st of this year, because Daniel Arguelles is going to go to court, and that's exactly what they're going to tell him. Say, hey, look, you matched up to Michael Bruner, but we don't accept Ancestry.com in a court of law here. And there's actually evidence where Mary Bruner has said under oath that she wasn't even sure that Michael Bruner was the son, even though his name is just on the birth certificate. But I don't know who the son was. Oh, I don't know. So what you're saying, but this is where Michael Channels could come in. There is Manson's DNA. And
he's got a hair follicle somewhere.
There is Manson's DNA. So Daniel just to take a DNA test against Manson's DNA. And if that matches, that's different, because remember, Daniel would be the son. Jason is the grandson.
Yep.
So even though Jason was awarded the body, that would definitely throw a little shade at Jason, because the one thing about Jason that he seems to be avoiding is that he won't take the test against Manson's DNA. He did the same exact thing. He took it against, he did Ancestry.com. It matched to Michael Bruner, but that doesn't count in the court of law. And then he went on his YouTube channel, whatever, and made a video about it. Like, see, I match, I'm real. It's like, okay, if you're real, then why won't you? Why is this taking 9 years, going on 10 years? Why didn't you, in the first year of the estate, just take the DNA test, get this over with, and we're done with this?
If you're so sure.
You have to do, right, exactly. If you're so sure, all you have to do is take the DNA test, and it's over with. Dude, we are here now, 9 years later. The next court date goes into next year. So 10 years on Charlie's 10-year anniversary. And this is the weird part. I told people this 10 years ago when I did the candlelight vigil at Spahn Ranch. I said, I'll be here in 10 years. I said, everybody, I will be here 10 years from now thinking that the estate would already be settled. Everything would be different. It won't be like the way it is now. And now here we are 10 years later. I'm going to be doing a candlelight vigil next year. The estate won't be settled. And we have the granddaughter. We have this now coming out. And the 60th anniversary is coming up soon in a couple years. And there's a lot going on, man. There really is.
And what's the final end goal besides bragging rights? Like what's left in the estate? What are they trying to?
There's a lot left in the estate. In the estate, here's the thing with the estate. Everybody just thinks like, oh, really, what could it be worth? First of all, everything that was left over in Manson's cell, which is there's a list of things, like, I don't know, like 20 different items. All right, so you have all that stuff. Yeah, let's say somebody wins, like Jason wins, or whoever wins. They just sell those items to Zach Baggins for, their museum, whatever. Maybe you keep one for yourself just so you could say you have one. Okay, whatever. But those items would be sold. Now, what you would have is now you own the legal rights to his face and his name. So, like Sophia Maddox, she just came out with this documentary and she's using Manson on the cover. It's okay, it's not copyrighted. The next person to do that, once somebody wins the estate, you can't do that anymore. Now, right. And you're not going to sue every single company that's selling Manson stuff. You don't have the time and the money to do that. So you might as well not worry about that. But anybody new that comes out, I guess you could probably sue them. If you want to sue a company who's doing some Manson stuff, you could. But what I would do, honestly, is open up your own website where you're the official Manson family website now. You are the estate. So if you open up, say, a website that says, we are Manson Family Estate, and you're selling everything from cigarette lighters to koozies to shirts to hats to whatever, anything you want that they all sell about Manson, now is coming through an official website, and you can make some money that way. So there is ways to make money off of him. You just have to figure out how to. And there's going to be books and documentaries coming out, with the 60th anniversary coming up. There's going to be plenty of that, believe me. So somebody's going to have to ask permission at one time or another for his face to be used and his name. Okay, I hope we're okay. He just isn't. I just figure I just start going with the sketch.
Yeah.
It could still
if
be
he's not there, yeah. No, it was talking about like people and their different opinions on Manson. I mean, from Australia, we don't get as much as America does.
Right.
But I was catching up on some podcasts last night, and I watched a very short podcast with Danny Trejo, who was actually in prison with Manson before all these issues. And he said he was a perfectly normal guy.
Yes.
He wasn't this crazy that, like you said, he plays up for the interviews and stuff.
Right. I mean, I think with Manson, one thing that you have to understand is when he got out of prison, what was it, like on March 22nd or something like that, 1967, he was already 32 years old. And if you think about it, what was the motto in 1967? Don't trust anybody over 30.
Mm-hmm.
That was the motto. And here's a man, he's 32 years old. Yes, he's a small man in stature. He's got, he's kind of good looking. He can play guitar. He's got that charisma. Playing guitar, men have been playing guitar and using that as a way to get women for a long time. They've been doing it on college campuses across America for a long time. They still, right. Any guy who's got a guitar and he's charming, he's good looking, trust me, he's going to get women around him. So that's not, that's not a new trick. So Manson doing that, I can see how he could, there's two things that he had an advantage of. One, he had the charisma and the guitar playing skills. Plus, he came into a time when it was free love. Like, it was free love. Everybody was so willing to give themselves. They were so willing to experiment with their bodies. See, back then, we didn't call it bisexual. We didn't call it gay. We called it experimenting.
Yeah.
Everybody
I think, if I was around that time, I probably would have got sucked up by Manson.
Right. Well, it's not that you would get sucked up by him. It's that at that time, everybody was looking for somebody to follow instead of just following themselves. Everybody was looking for a guru. The Beatles were looking for a guru. They got ripped off. The Rolling Stones were looking for a guru. They got ripped off. Well, yet the Maharishi guy, he was a fake. The problem was everybody was looking at all these, the Eastern philosophy, the Eastern religion, and they got ripped off. Instead of being a leader, everybody was trying to be a follower at the time. So it was so easy for someone like Manson, because everybody was looking for somebody to tell me what to do, what to eat, how to live my life, instead of just doing it yourself. Take control and do it yourself. Nobody did it at that time. That was kind of a downfall. Whereas Manson, think about this, 32 years old, he's reading these psychological books in prison. He knows, but he doesn't realize what the 60s really are. He knows the 50s, but he knows that they're transitioning into the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But then once he gets out, he's like, holy Christ. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. This is
Pickens. Yeah.
Right. Wow. And he wasn't expecting like that, because a pimp is somebody who looks at somebody as a woman, like, you can sell your body, but now you want to give it away for free love and make no money? Really? And just have sex? Okay. I mean, if that's the way the time, and that, if that's the way that, I wasn't old, I'm not old enough, but if that's the way the times were, then that's the way it was. So, I mean, he just did what he needed to do to survive as an ex-con. And I don't, I'm not into this whole CIA thing with Tom O'Neill and the MK Ultra and all that kind of stuff. I honestly don't believe in any of that stuff. I really don't. I think it was just poor parole. Awful. They didn't have the equipment back then like they do today. I've been on parole, trust me. Being on parole.
We all know that the parole and criminal justice system is full of flaws.
Right. It is. It wasn't on. Well, I'm not gonna lie. When I got out, it didn't seem like it was. It seemed like they were on point when I got out. I mean,
plenty.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It seems like they were on point when I got out, because they had computers and this and that, and they know where you are. And you have to check in. If you don't check in, you violate, and then there's a warrant on you. I remember when I got out of prison, because I had no address. I wasn't paroling to someone's house. I was homeless. So I told them that. So I'm like, I'm homeless. They said, well, okay, we'll allow you to do that, but here's the problem. You have to check in with your parole officer every day until you find an address. Shit. And I'm like, are you serious? I live here and I have to get to here, and I have no car and I have no money. And I'm like, well, we'll give, they gave me bus tokens. So all I did was I just stayed homeless right near my parole officer's building, like across the street in the park. And in the morning I would wake up. Yeah, I would just wake up in the morning, go check in, and then just go back to the park and just be homeless and like, hello, because I had to be, until I actually found a place to live.
Yeah.
Eventually I did, and became Spahn Ranch Worker.
That's ruthless, because you got to check in. You can be homeless, I guess. It's your fucking problem. You still have to check in.
But you have to check in every day, or we'll violate you, right? And you'll go back
to humanity on that.
Yeah.
So my parole officer was like, he was actually kind of shocked. Like, we don't normally have people like you come in every day and check in every day. What you're doing is rather unique. But I'm like, I didn't want to go back to prison, so I'm like, I'll just do whatever you need me to do. But the problem was trying to get a place to live. I didn't really have anywhere to live until the day I knocked on my friend's door, David Finkelberg, and asked him, "Can you help me out?" And he did, and that's what actually saved me.
I think Jeff froze. Yeah, no, it's similar here. Like the going and reporting every whatever. I mean, I know someone at the moment who's reporting twice a week, and makes it hard because he doesn't have a car, so we generally take him in. And
then sometimes you have to drug test too. I don't know if he has a drug test, but I had a drug test. He hasn't
had any drug tests, but he's having to go in twice a week, and because he doesn't have a car or a license or any money to catch a bus, so we've got to do it. We help him out, and it puts everybody out, and it's not an easy system.
That was the only thing our parole officer would actually give me, would be bus tokens. So you go there every day.
They don't even do that here.
They would give us a bunch of tokens, so we could at least take. I knew I could run so I would actually, once I reported, I'm not lying to you, I would get the tokens, get on the bus, and go into the valley and go home with my friends, for the day and whatever, and go do whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
Because I had enough money to come back from the tokens, so.
So I miss some of that. I keep kicking out for some reason. Internet connections suck in there. When did you start the tours with the Spahn Ranch? And what was like your first time there before the tours?
My first time there was with a friend of mine named Dave Finkelberg. I had watched a Michael Channels video about where the cave was, and I convinced my friend Dave to come down there. And we went down there and saw it, and everything was great. And I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This is actually kind of cool. And I just started to I decided that I was going to clean up the area. I'm like, you know what? It's kind of cool down here, but it's kind of messy down here. So I started actually literally cleaning it up with a broom and sweeping up and cleaning up and making the trails look nice and safe. And you can tell when people would walk down, they could tell obviously someone's been here because you can tell the trails all night. The rocks are all lined up, all that kind of stuff. And then one day, me and my friend Dave were just talking. And he's like, you should do a tour. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like, I can do that. I remember I put out an advertisement on Facebook, and it was a bunch of college students. My very first tour was some college students from the local college at CSUN in San Fernando Valley in Northridge, California at CSUN. It was about 8 of them. They got a hold of me through Facebook Messenger, said we'd like to do a tour on a certain day. And I'm like, okay. And sure enough, I met them there. They all showed up. I have pictures of this. I have a picture of us and everything. And we met, and I gave them a tour, and they thought it was great. And they're like, hey, man, we're going to tell our friends and this and that. And I'm sure and I actually told them if they can come onto my page and leave like a little review of the tour. I'm like, yeah, come on my Facebook page and leave a review. And once they left that review, that was a good thing because they left this really long, nice review and how awesome it was. And then since then, I was getting like one tour every 3 months. And then it got popular to like one tour every other month. And then it was like one every month. And then it was like, now it's to the point where I could do one now like every Saturday during the summertime, only during the summertime, not during the winter. But like right now during this tourist season and stuff like that, right now I could probably do one like every Saturday. Like no problem. I get plenty of emails from people from all over the world. As a matter of fact, Australia as well. I had a guy come all the way from Australia, hired me. I gave him a tour of San Francisco and then a tour of Southern California, and it was fucking great. And it took about a week, and he hired me for a week. Paid very well. He paid very well. It was great. It was awesome. And he got to meet a member of the Manson family on that tour. I'm not kidding. That's how. Yeah, he actually got to meet a member of that on that tour.
Lucky guy.
I'll tell you who he got to meet. He got to meet Steve Grogan.
Really?
Yes, he got to meet Steve Grogan on that tour. And
That's cool.
He flipped out. He thought it was just great. And he was like, this is the best I've ever been. And this guy is, he's a multimillionaire who travels around the world. And he's been like Everest and all this stuff. And then he took my tour, what I did with him for a week, just showing him, because he wanted to see everything Manson from Los Angeles to San Francisco. I'm like, we'll start in San Francisco and we'll work our way down. And at the end, he's like, that was the greatest tour I've ever had in my life. Thank you so much. And he paid very, very handsomely. I would wish he called back and come back. No, I talked to him. But he's in Paris, he's in this, he's in there, he's all over the world, man. And he goes back home to Australia. So
that's kind of ground zero. And I mean, there's stuff even with Bobby and Kenneth Anger out there when he was helping with the film. So there's connections with that.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and there's all kinds. Yeah, Kenneth Anger. That was one of the Kenneth Anger house. That's one of the on my San Francisco tour. That's the one thing. Believe me, that's the one thing everybody wants.
Yeah, that house is crazy. I'd love to go up there. That attic space there.
If that house could talk.
If it could, I'm sure I've seen some crazy shit.
Also, though, right across the street, the park there, the Grateful Dead used to play all the time. And there's pictures of Bobby while he's in the park while the Grateful Dead are playing in there. And he's just, doing his thing, being Bobby. And so it's the whole area right there is fantastic.
He doesn't like to talk much. Bobby does. I've tried him. He gave me his email. Goes, here, you can write to me. I'm not going to write back, but you can write to me all you like.
Bruce will actually tell you more than anybody. I've written Bruce, and Bruce has told me stories about Topanga Canyon, and I sent him pictures of Topanga Canyon, and he sent me back a letter saying, when I see those pictures, it reminds me of death. And I'm like, really? Topanga Canyon reminds you of death? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, interesting. I'd like to know more about that.
Yeah. Continue, please. In what way?
No, but I've had letters from him. He talked about Spahn Ranch, taking LSD. The way he works is he'll answer the questions that I have for him, and he'll talk about Spahn Ranch. And then the second half of the letter is all the religious, Jesus stuff. that he should do. So
Yeah.
he'll answer the questions, and then the second half of it, okay, well then now let's pray together and Jesus this and Jesus, and I'm like, okay, that's all cool, man. I mean,
Yeah, I don't get that. I was chatting to Bruce for a bit, but I'm like, no, I'm Wiccan. You can't convert me. So he gave up trying. So we just talked about his relationships and stuff.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one from him back.
Well, I'm telling you, he will write back. He's very easy to get.
Yeah.
Text is a little bit different. I don't know. Have you ever written a text?
Yeah, I got three letters from text.
I've gotten letters back from text too. Yeah, I mean, yeah. He's but the first time I wrote him, I'm not gonna lie to you, I tricked him. I totally tricked him. I totally tricked him and made him think that I was this religious nut who went to prison, and now I saw your story, and now I'm just, you know, I just really wanted his autograph, so I was just telling him what he wanted to hear. So once I got the first letter back from him, then I kept writing him, and the last time I got a letter from him, I'm not gonna lie, it was probably about 3 years ago. At least 3 years ago. It was a card that he sent me, and that was the last time. I'm like, all right, that's enough. And I haven't written back to him since.
Yeah. It's not easy. I did the same thing as far as I tried to get religious with them. Like I said, this is my favorite passage from the Bible. You know, are we deceiving them? I mean, it's conversation. Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm not representing something. I did the same thing with David Berkowitz. I've written him 5 times. He wrote back. I'm like, hey, man. I'm like,
I got a message back from David Berkowitz once, but it was only on the emails, not an actual letter.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, women have a better chance of answering back, getting answers back from.
Yeah, I always send a photo.
Right, women. Like, think about if you're locked up, you're going to answer some guy back. Yeah, going to send you a picture. I'd rather talk to a woman than a male. I've been locked up myself, so I'm just saying though. So women, you know, I've written to Scott Peterson many times. Never once has he written me back. Never once. But I have friends who are women. They've written them. They've gotten letters back.
Of course, I don't blame him.
That's exact. I don't blame him either. But I've definitely tried to get a letter, but no, I don't think I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same issue with writing women. Women don't write me back, but the men do. So, like, women prefer to guys.
You're right. I have written women in prison. I wrote the two girls, the two youngest women in Florida to get executed. They're like 19 years old. I wrote both of them. I got letters back from them. Some other women I wrote to, some other serial killers. I can't think of her name. God damn it. But she sent me this really cool Charles Manson like artwork that she did. Dana Puente, I think her name was. She was like the shopping cart serial killer. She was like a nurse, and she would take care of older people and then take their credit cards, run them out, and once she maxed them out, then she would kill them. And she killed like 4. Yeah, I'm not kidding. She was like, and they made a movie about her. I wrote her, and I have plenty of letters from her. I even have her. Actually, she sent me the needle that she had used for a tattoo that was made by her. Like, this is the actual needle I was using when I had
cool.
A tattoo. Wow, dude. So I haven't talked to her probably in about 5 years, but I used to write people all the time. After a while, I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually kind of got bored of it. I mean, I thought it was cool and all, and I have the letters, but I'm like, all right, you know, I mean, and I look, with Charlie, I wrote him so many times, he never once wrote me back, except I got one letter back from his cronies that write letters, and you think you're getting a letter back from Charlie, but you're not. It's actually one of his, like, X-Men, he used to call it.
Thunder says he would do that for him.
Right, exactly. So I got one of those back. But when I saw it, it also had the original letter that I wrote to Charlie in it as well. So they sent back the letter. And they sent me back. I'm like, what? And you sent me back the letter that I wrote? Like, this ain't.
I hate when they do that. Tiger King does that.
It's just like, here's the reference. Like, hand them out. Here's a letter.
Hand them back to you. So it means nothing to you. Yeah.
But let me tell you something that I used to do that's kind of strange. Because I couldn't get through to Charlie, so I found out some of the other guys, the high-profile guys that were housed with him, and I started writing to them. So I wrote to this guy named Stephen Gardner, I think his name was. I think he had killed 2 14-year-old girls, but he was with Manson in the same housing unit. So I started writing to him. I said, look, I'm only writing to you because I want to know what Manson's up to. So I said, I will keep writing to you as long as you tell me what Charlie's up to. I will write to you, and at least you'll have, somebody writing. He's like, okay, cool. So he did. He would write me letters like, Charlie spends his day writing letters, doing this, doing that. So I knew what Charlie was doing through him. And then when he was done telling me that, then I would be like, okay, and then we would talk a little sports, like it would be like a regular letter. But one day, something happened in the unit where they all got busted, and they took him out of the unit and they separated him from Charlie. And he wrote me a letter saying, "Hey, I'm not in Manson's unit anymore, so I can't tell you what he's doing." So I wrote him a letter saying, "This is the last letter I'm ever writing you. I only needed you to tell me what Charlie was doing. But since you're not with him, I don't need you anymore. I'm sorry." And I wrote it back to him. I'm telling you, I did. So he knew from the start that I was using him for Manson.
He should have lied. He couldn't make that.
I was upfront, but he was just, he didn't get mail, dude. He didn't get mail, and he was just happy to get mail from anybody.
If it was me, I would have said, he's taking a shower. Yeah. He could have made shit up. He didn't have to tell you that he moved units.
Here's the thing, though. I actually some of the information that he did send me through Michael Channels, who talks to Manson, I actually confirmed some of it, and he was telling me actually the truth. So I'm like, yeah. So, well, that's kind of cool, man. I mean, he wasn't bullshitting, so. No. I mean, you're right. You could have told me anything you wanted. You're right. But I never sent him any money. I never put anything on his books. No. I didn't do anything like that. I didn't send paper. I never sent him nothing. Never once.
I mean, afterwards, he should have kept up the friendship. Like, he told you the truth, but he's not there anymore, but he doesn't want to lose your pen palship, so he just said other shit.
But I'm like, look, I only care what Manson's. I don't care what you're doing. I look what he did, and plus what he did was horrible, his crime. That's the thing, though. You have to remember, they put Manson in that housing unit on purpose. They put him in a housing unit with 16 other guys that are child molesters, child rapists. He's the only one in there who never actually physically killed anybody, but yet his friends are going to be other inmates who have killed children and raped children. And they do that on purpose. Like, we're going to put you, it's a 16-man housing unit, and the people that are in there are the worst of the worst. But if you think about it, Manson's the only one in there who physically never killed anybody.
Was there speculation that he might have in Mexico at one point in time? I mean, I know there's stories of shootout left and right.
There's stories about the Mexico thing, but who knows? I mean, Manson the set, but who knows whether? And look, I think you have to talk to Shrek on that.
Yeah, he would
definitely an Shrek thing, and he said stuff to Michael Channels about Mexico and some things going on in New Mexico and this and that. So we've heard, maybe I like the one. There's one great footage of Manson when they ask him after the murders. They ask him if he killed anybody. He's like, "I killed a chicken once."
Okay. He goes, I almost killed lots of Papa. He almost killed somebody.
Well, he really thought he did, though. Like, he thought he had killed him.
Well, yeah, the two worst things that Manson ever did was cut fucking Gary Henman on the face, which he shouldn't have done. And he shouldn't have lots of Papa. The thing is that he got involved in two situations that had nothing to do with him. So think about this. You're in the middle, and over here is Gary Henman with Bobby Beausoleil, who's trying to impress some bikers, maybe even trying to, become a biker. And that has nothing to do with Manson. That's his own thing. And then over here you have Tex Watson, who is in Hollywood, dealing with lots of Papa, ripping him up. That has nothing to do with Manson. But when both these situations get out of control, who do they call? They call the convict in the middle. Now, the convict only knows how to deal with a situation one way, and that's with violence. I'm sorry. If you ask a convict for help, you think he's going to come over and try what? We're going to,
mediate,
and make nice, and we're going to come to some kind of compromise and everything. No, it's going to be straight violence. So when he goes to Henman's house, because Bobby can't handle the situation, and the one thing I don't understand about Henman at one point gets the gun back. Why doesn't he shoot Bobby? Why doesn't he get the hell out of there? Why doesn't he when he gets the gun back, why doesn't he just get the hell out of there? How does Bobby get the gun back? Come on.
Probably Sadie's little flash, showing the boobs. He goes, "Here you go."
If I was Henman, I would have just gotten the hell out of there. But whatever. In that situation. So even if the situation by Bobby's standards was taken care of like they think it was, and then Manson came over and ruined it, it doesn't matter. He still came over and ruined it. Yeah, Sadie shouldn't have called. You're right. She should have never made that phone call. If everything was already taken care of, she should have never made that call. Him and what was it? TJ came over there. They should have never came over, or Bruce Davis, whoever it was. They came over there. That should have never happened. Same thing with Lots of Papa. The thing with Lots of Papa, though, I think it's a little bit different, is that Manson actually thought, I don't know why, but he really thought he was connected to the Black Panthers, which he wasn't. That whole thing, that paranoia right there, he wasn't. remember, he's a drug dealer, so he's not going to go to the cops. you know, so
no.
But right there, those two situations, which involve Manson, in his opinion, takes care of them. And then in the end, both these people blame Manson in the middle, like, well, this is what you told me to do, and this is your fault. It's like, no, I was sitting in the middle. You called me, asked me for help. I helped you, and you don't appreciate the help I used, which was violence and, pretty much just violence. And now you want to blame me for the situation? And that's basically what happened. But real quickly, though, before we end this and before we get out, is that I think what a lot of people forget, though, even if Charles Manson was found innocent for the Tate LaBianca murders, he still would have been found guilty for the Shorty Shea murders. Remember, there's 2 trials. There's not one. There's 2. And everybody keeps forgetting this. So if you ever see the picture with Manson where he's actually wearing a suit and he looks like a young version of Carlos Santana, kind of, with the suit, that's the Shorty Shea. So he still would have, there is more evidence that he participated in the Shorty Shea stuff than the Tate LaBianca. So I'm just telling you right now, he would have gotten the death penalty anyway, even if he was found innocent for Tate LaBianca. He still would have been found guilty for Shorty Shea.
For that.
Right.
Just his involvement in being at the LaBianca, if he just tied down up and left, he still was a participant.
He's breaking and entering. That's,
Yeah, that's hostage somewhat if he's tied down.
No. You have to look at it this way. The laws were different in 60. See, the problem with people today is when they go back in time, they take our laws today and they think it still applies in 69. It doesn't. The laws were different. So there's no terrorist act. There's no hostage this or there. The laws were right. The laws were different. Yeah. So breaking and entering, whether he had a weapon or not, I don't know. Definitely breaking and entering. Because I don't understand. Some people can say, well, he went inside there and he talked to Leno. It's like, wait a minute. How are you talking to someone if you don't know them? If you know them, you're talking to them. That means that you guys must have met before. Well, if you've never met before, think about this. If you've never met someone and they break into your house, you're going to sit there and talk to them? No, you're going to fucking say, no, what the fuck are you doing in my house? And you're going to defend yourself, probably grab your gun or whatever it is and defend yourself to, defend your family. That's what anybody would do. But if someone's talking to someone, that means they've met them before. They know who they are. So depending on who, George Simpson has said this too, where Manson went in and started talking to Leno and then he left. Well, you didn't say he tied him up. You just said he left. So he left him untied and then came back? Really? So Leno was cool with that? And now Nicholas Schreck is saying that pretty much the same thing. Well, he went in and talked to him. He knew him. They already knew each other. Maybe Abigail or maybe Rosemary was doing something on the side. Who knows?
Interesting.
Look, right.
Chaos part 2 right there, man.
Well, it depends. Look, the 3 promote the most are George Stimson, Nicholas Schreck, and Tom O'Neill. These 3 guys have got something, but yet they want to fight with each other in this community and not come together and really try to figure out what went wrong. And none of these guys, I feel, have anything to do with the word conspiracy theory. They're not conspiracy theory. They have real proof, real fact, especially Tom O'Neill in his book. The very beginning of Tom O'Neill's book, Chaos, is very good. The first 25, maybe 50 pages, 25, 30 pages. Very, very good. Take the rest of the book, rip it off the book and throw it away. The rest of it you don't need. But the first 35 pages, that's all you need. And that's it. That's all you need.
Halfway through because it trails off. I agree with you. It's great.
All you, but he proves Bully O.C. was wrong and he shows you the proof. And people will look at that like, dude, that's real proof, man. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is proof. And then now you have George Simpson, now you have Nicholas Schreck, and then you have people like Michael Channels who have their own belief. So these communities have actually spawned through my channel. My channel has actually spawned a bunch of different communities, such as Twilight Garage, Danny After Dark, Paul Cast, Brian Davis of TLBR Radio. He came out right before me. I came out about a month later. We came out at the same time in 2011. So those are good shows. And then you have True Crime with Moonshine there in Europe. She does a great job over there. This community really has some great information, but for some reason just won't work together because everybody kind of seems to bicker with one another. And that's the problem I'm having. I love everybody. I have no problem with anybody, really. Honestly, I really don't. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm trying to get us to get the information to the next generation so they know. So they're not just reading Helter Skelter and believing the same old shit. That's my whole thing in this, is getting the next generation to know something different. This next generation from 19 to 25-year-olds. That's it. Not people my age and older. Look, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but maybe we can help this new generation out. That's what I'm trying to do.
Fresh minds, a fresh look upon it. They didn't grow up with the films and all the books, so they can, a fresh approach. I agree. And like, we're in this to make friends. We don't want to take sides, say who's wrong. We want to sit around the fire, have a beer, and let's talk about it, man. Let me hear your side, open-mindedly.
Right. Let's come to something that we can really, come to instead of argue with, because I know all these people, and they're good people, and they're trying hard, and they've done a lot. They put in the time, they put in the research. They've really done their best, man. And I know my show, I'm off the wall. I understand with the beer and the weed and everything, but believe me, people, I still know my shit. I know a lot. I know a lot of people. I'm
question.
I'm definitely the ringleader, the MC of the community, because my show is not about solving the case. My show is about directing you to go to a show to find out about the case and you making your own decision. Don't believe what I tell you.
Facts.
Right. And then it's up to you to believe it. But don't believe what I tell you. Come do it yourself. The only way you're actually going to believe something is if you come to the information and find out for yourself to believe it. Don't just believe it because I tell you or this person tells you. Do the research. Really do the reading. And it's a lot. It's a lot. That's the thing about this case. It's a lot of reading. But once you start doing it, you'll realize, hey, man, there's something here. What Bugliosi said is not, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. What I believe, I'm not sure. All I know is I just don't believe Bugliosi.
He needed something just to prosecute him, so he found little tidbits of, he liked the Beatles and maybe some of the folks that Manson talked about it a little bit. Boom, he's got a conspiracy theory. He's got something he can build a case upon. So it doesn't have to be factual for his side. They just want to put him away for whatever reason.
Well, he put together a case that got Manson convicted because he knew that there was no way to convict Manson unless he had him do this conspiracy thing, and he had to tell them what to do. The best documentary right now on the Manson case is the one with Manson in his own words with Rob Zombie narrating. That one's very, very good. I recommend that to everybody. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. Watch all of them. But that one is the best one right there, man, because at least they give you both sides of it. They explain the helter-skelter side, and then they explain, well, this is the alternative theory, and this is what we're dealing with, people. So we'll leave it up to you what you want to believe.
It is good, man. I agree. I think we're right at the hour mark. That's good. Sharon, you got any further questions, statements?
No, nope. I'm just keen to find out the results of the genealogy, DNA. We'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes.
Eventually.
And
believe me, I am very curious about what I'm very curious what happens on September 1st with Daniel Arguelles. I'm actually trying to see if I can get a friend to go down to the LA courthouse that day just to see, man, just to, run into Daniel, see what's going on. I don't know, take a picture or whatever. But yes, I'm very curious. September 1st of this year is going to be very, very
Take
interesting.
Us with you. Record it, man. We want to see it.
It's only a month away, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't do it personally, but I'm going to see if I can get somebody associated with me. One of my friends, maybe they can maybe do something like that, man. That'd be great. I would love to, have some video of that, man. That'd be great.
Exactly.
We'll see what happens. All right.
Enjoy your Saturday, everybody.
Hey, thanks for letting me be on here, man. This guy's doing a great job. Take care.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Talk to you
Have a
later.
good weekend. Bye.
You too.
Bye.